Joining us today to talk about cybersecurity are Shmulik Aran, CEO, and Michael Coden, Vice President of NextNine. Welcome, Shmulik. Welcome, Michael.
Thank you, Sid.
Thank you, Sid.
The industrial Internet of Things is a major trend these days. That's something we talk a lot about at ARC. And security is a key concern for companies that are considering this. So what is your company doing to address this market opportunity and market need?
It is indeed, and it's a good question. We are in the business of industrial automation since 2006, and our customers, ABB, Rockwell, Honeywell, Schneider Electric, Invensys at the time, and Yokogawa, are all concerned about these issues as well as their customers. So we joined IEC 62443, and we were part of the MIT encounter in this issue, and we actually took our platform and made it as a way for our customer to define their security policy, to implement it from a centralized location to all of their plants, to comply, to measure the compliance of that with their security policy, to report it to the central location, and to actually present it in a dashboard, which is an actionable dashboard for them to take care of their security. That gives them visibility, that gives them control, and that gives them a way to do the actions to continue the improvement of the security of their locations.
Oh, very good. Michael, industrial asset owners are increasingly dependent on automation suppliers to keep their plants secure, and many of them are offering enhanced security offerings. And I'm wondering how your company, are you working with them, or how you might be helping those vendors to provide that support?
Sure, Sid. We've been working with most of those vendors. Shmulik's already mentioned ABB, Honeywell, Foxborough, Invensys, Schneider Electric, Yokogawa, Rockwell, and many of their customers, and helping them since 2006 to deliver a very secure remote connectivity solution. On top of that platform, we've worked with them very closely to, first of all, make the platform, that connectivity, very secure, so it is kind of a bulletproof connection. It's the most secure two-factor machine-to-machine connection between remote plants and a central location, and that gives everyone in the industry the ability to centralize their cybersecurity experts. And that greatly reduces the cost and makes it much more effective to provide cybersecurity to all your remote sites. It's not scalable to have people at every remote site for even a small corporation, much less a large corporation with hundreds of global sites. So by centralizing that and being able to remotely get an asset inventory, so identify, know what you need to protect, and then to protect by distributing patches and antivirus signatures from a central location, and then to enforce compliance, as Shmulik mentioned, using a scan of the systems to find out if the patches and the antivirus has been installed, to grab all the log files from all the remote sites, bring them back to a central location where the cybersecurity experts, using very expensive tools, can actually detect if there's an event going on. And lastly, through this, or next to lastly, through this very secure connectivity, to jump in remotely with remote access and take care of the attackers, deal with the problem, remediate the problem, and then lastly, using this secure connectivity, you can restore a system that's been taken out of service. So it's enabling as we go forward these vendors to provide the asset owners with a cost-effective solution, because you can centralize those important, expensive cybersecurity experts and make sure they can jump into a cyber incident instantly, not having to go to the helicopter pad or get on an airplane or drive for 4 hours, but they just go to a computer terminal and they get in and fix the problem.
Thank you. Changing the topic just a little bit. Well, it's a play on what you just said, I guess, or an extension of it. But, one other thing I hear a lot is just the cost of doing cybersecurity. And when you have lots of plants, it can become a major cost. So I'm curious how your company, what your company is doing to deal with this issue of a return on investment that's acceptable so people can actually launch projects. It seems to be a roadblock to launching some projects.
This is a very important topic. Nowadays, when executives at board level and other executives in the company, C-level executives, they look at the expense they need to make to harden their plans. They are at a big question mark. Now, there is a big market developing because of that. It's an outsourcing of the security of the OT infrastructure. And there's a group of managed security service provider for the ICS that are now taking our product into the market. These are huge projects that typically last for 5, 8, 10 years, which you define the project, you implement it, and you actually manage it for the next 5, 8, 10 years. Where we are kind of the infrastructure, the engine on top of which, with the features that Michael said, we can enable in a cost-effective way to harden your plants and your environment and have a centralized visibility of your compliance. And this is actually, we did a research together with Accenture at the time, and they took an occasion where it took $28 million to harden manually a 50 plants environment, where if they were taking our technology and on top of that providing their services and as an MSSP for ICS, it would take them half the cost, third the time, and because it's semi-automatically, you can repeat it and make it up to date it's a very easy way. So it's a very, there's a clear ROI for a security product, which is not something which is trivial.
Thank you, very good, that's very interesting. Let me finish, we don't have that much time, but one thing that I see a lot in the news, and I mean I personally experience, and I guess we all do, is this drop in oil prices, which you may view as good or bad. We have a lot of clients in the oil industry that don't necessarily see it as good, and we have others who see it as wonderful. And I'm just wondering, is that affecting your business? And if so, how do you see that happening, and what impact is it happening? And maybe what do you think is the future with that?
Well, it's
a lot of questions.
Yes. The drop in oil prices is clearly having a concerning effect on the producers, the explorers and producers of oil. However, the board members have put a significant focus on cybersecurity, and that's one area we have seen no impact on the budget. It is priority number one. I often quote the current SEC commissioner who says any board member who does not consider cybersecurity their number one priority is putting their own personal self at peril. Okay. And no one wants to be the next front page story on the New York Times or the Wall Street Journal. so not to mention how much it costs in terms of reputation, in terms of potential loss of life. We've had examples where there's been serious physical damage from cyber hacking, or the loss of profits from the downtime that can result from a cyber incident. So the downside risk of having a cyber incident is so great that we don't see any impact on the budgeting for keeping cybersecurity, which is, and the importance that President Obama and the federal government have placed on this in the United States. And globally, we have a cybersecurity framework now in the UK. We have EU standards being developed. So everyone is realized that this is job one.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. This has been a very interesting discussion.
Very good question, thank you.
Thank you, Sid. It's been a pleasure.
We've been speaking with Shmulik Aran and Michael Coden of NextNine. Thank you for watching.